Hello and welcome to this week's update. Where are we? So we're at the beginning of March and it's about the sort of 6th, I think. And Casper's wanting to say hello as well. Everybody keeps saying to me, "Oh, you're going to bring Casper back, you're going to bring Casper back." So there he is. Okay, first thing to talk about, I'm going to do this in as many quick little clips as I can. So first thing to talk about is I'm not actually going to do any other videos this week. So all the videos that are underneath this one in the newsletter, if you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube, obviously there is no list. But if you're reading if you've got the newsletter, then you've got several videos in the list in the newsletter, and I normally change one or two every week. But this week I'm not going to do that because there isn't really any more to say. The A to Z information is exactly the same. Your £2 coins information is exactly the same. So if you want to look at your options, if you want to upgrade, if you want to cancel anything, etc., etc., you need to just go to the newsletter and look at the other videos. Now, you might not know how to get to the newsletter, so it's ever so easy. Just simply type into your top browser www. That's 3 W's and a dot. www.tiny, that's TINY, url.com/TGBCH news, NEWS. So that's www.tinyurl.com/TGBCH news. Now that will take you straight to the newsletter page, and at the top left, I believe it is, you can subscribe if you're thinking you're not getting the newsletters, and the top right, I think, is to pardon me, beg your pardon. Top right, I think, is to see other newsletters or whatever. But you can also, you get a list of a long list on that link of all the previous newsletters. So if you want the newsletter, go to that link and you will have the newsletter itself, and where you can then just look at the videos that you need to look at. So another thing to mention, and it's a bit of a wind up for me actually, so I'm going to mention it, is this rubbish about Early Strike. It's a con. It's rubbish, and I'm not having anything to do with it. Simple as that. As a lot of you serious collectors know, because you don't just buy off me, you buy off other people, and of course you will buy off Change Checker, and you will buy off Westminster Collection, and you will buy off Royal Mint, and so on. Now, the Royal Mint, I guess they can get away with saying it's an early strike, etc., if they're including some form of certificate to say that the enclosed products is an early strike. But when it comes to the likes of Change Checker and Westminster Collection, which is the same company by the way, this is rubbish. 5.2 million A to Z 10p's were made for 2018. Every single one of those that was made as a bunce is classed as an early strike. Every single bunce letter that we have in stock now, that we have on its way to us, that we have sold or that we are going to sell, is, if you want to define it as such, an early strike. And the reason I can say that is because every single bunch that they made is an early strike. Now, the con, in my opinion, is they made them all at the same time. They didn't make, say, 1,000 of each letter, the first 1,000 of each letter, this is an early strike. It's one of the first 1,000 that was made. Every single bunch is defined as an early strike. There is no difference. They didn't make an early strike and then make a load of bunts. They made a load of bunts and decided, because somebody thought it was a clever marketing idea, let's call it an early strike, G it up a bit, let's get more money, let's get people more excited and all the rest of it, thinking they've got something. It's rubbish and it's a con, and I am surprised that the Royal Mint have allowed themselves to get caught up in that con. It is so blatantly obvious that it's a con. It is unreal, and as you can tell by the sound of my voice, I am not happy about that from a collector's point of view or from a dealer's point of view, because I am being encouraged as a dealer to use the same terminology, and I won't do it. We talked about it. We talked about adding the words early strike and all the rest of it. I'm not doing it. I'm not having it because it's not an early strike. I've got limited edition prints, and I'm going to use this as a great example. I've got limited edition prints that I sell. Some of my limited edition prints are like 200, right? So you'll have 1 of 200, 2 of 200, 3 of 200. Okay, so when an artist has got 200 prints in front of him, a stack of prints in front of him, he doesn't sit there and go to the first one, and because they hand write on it, normally with pencil. He's not going to write on the very first one he picks up 200 of 200, and then the next one 199 of 200. That's a bit back to front, don't you think? Logically, it would never make sense. What would you do? What would I do? What would anybody do? If you've got a pile of something and you're going to number them 1 to 200, what's the thing to do? You go 1. You start at number 1. 1 of 200. Move that over there. 2 of 200. Move that over there. 3 of 200. Move that over there. So the very first one the artist numbers is the very first one that he signs. So now you know as the buyer that is the first one that he did. The first one that he signed is number 1. You know that. It's logical. It makes common sense. Early. One of the first ones. Any one of you who has bought an early strike thinking that you're getting one of the first ones made off the press, you've been conned. And I would stand up loudly on a soapbox. I would stand up in a court if I was asked to, and I would say the same thing. I would not have it that in 1 second I would not have it that they are the first ones off the block. They are not the first ones off the block. They all come off the bloody block together, just about. And there's no way of you proving. If you've gone and bought an early strike, how do you prove it? You go to sell that now, or you want those words to mean a little bit of extra value, which is all. So the only reason those words have been used is to add a little bit of extra value. Well, if you want to add a little bit of extra value to it with those words, how do you prove that when you want to later on in life, 10 years time, 20 years time, or 5 years time, or 2 years time, you want to resell it? How do you prove that that's an early strike? You can't, because you have no proof. There is no proof. But if I've got number 1 of 200 on a signed print, that's proof. That is absolute cast iron proof. All the Mint have done, all Westminster have done, and all Change Checker have done is con the arse out of thousands of people, and I just think it's so wrong. That's me off my soapbox, but I have to say that. This week's winner, by the way, oh, Casper got so annoyed with that too, he's gone off to woof at him. This week's winner, Jack Martin. Well done, Jack. Now, thing is, I've looked for you. I can't find you on the system. There's no doubt you're on there because I sort of remember your name, but I can't find you to add the points. So I need you to contact Logan at tgbch@outlook.com. Contact Logan, tell him who you are, tell him you're this week's winner of the 2,000 points, and we need your email address so that we can find it. Because when we're looking for someone's rewards account, we can't search their name, we can't search their address, we can't search anything apart from the email address. So I must have the email address in order to give you your points. And I had this problem with a winner off Instagram recently, in that they joined our site but they had not bought anything, and because they hadn't bought anything, therefore the rewards haven't kicked in. So when I'm searching for them on the rewards page, I can't find them because they're not there. So if a winner has never bought anything, then they need to just buy something for 99p, that's all, and then you're on the system proper, and I'll be able to find you and add the points. Now for this week's competition, I actually want you to put something specific. Normally I'd just say leave a comment, whatever, and we'll pick one of the people that left a comment. But this week, I honestly believe, I know which is going to be the most expensive letter out of the A to Z. I already believe I know that. And the reason I know that is because on my desk in the other room, I've got 26 pots. 26. One for each letter. And I've broke open loads and loads and loads and loads of sets. I've probably broke open about 50 to 100 sets already. And put them out, because we sell the Bunce coins as separate Bunce coins, right? So all of these pots are half full to full up of all the letters, except one. One pot, nothing in that pot. There is nothing in there. And no matter how fast I open up sets and therefore put more letters in each of different pots, and therefore that one gets one in and a couple more in, it sells out. It's that same pot, that same letter that sells out all of the time. Every single day we're selling loads of that letter. Now, what letter is it? What letter do you think it is? I'm going to tell you next week, but in the comment, what I want you to do is I want you to just have a stab in the dark. What letter do you think is going to be the most expensive? Now, I say the most expensive because it may not be the rarest. The letter I'm talking about, it may not be the rarest, i.e. the lowest mintage, but it's the one everybody wants. It's that one letter that everybody wants, because I am continually selling out of the box, and therefore I have to go and break open another set every time I sell that one single letter. I've got to break open another set just to supply that person with that one letter, which means more letters go in all the other boxes. So that one box continually, completely sells out all the time. What one is it? Because that tells me that that is going to be the most expensive letter. And it's going to be the one that goes up the most in value, because it's going to be the one that is sought after the most. Now, that could have the most mintage and still end up being the most expensive, because if everybody wants it, then it doesn't matter how many they made. If everybody wants it, there ain't going to be that many about, and it's going to keep selling out like it is. So I know what it's going to be. I know what it is because I'm looking at what's in front of me, but you have a guess and then tell me, and next week I'll tell you. So these are the folders. We've got these in stock. These are your 10p folders to put the 10p A to Zs in. And when we sell a folder, we do them, I think, at $14.95, but we also include a free letter. If you imagine that that letter is going to one day be worth 20 quid, for example, which I think every single letter will be worth 20 quid at some point in the future, then you've got it for nothing. But we ain't got that many of them. We've only got like about 200 of these. And so anyway, if you want one of these, we've got them on the site. When we get delivered the A to Z letters, that's how we get them. They're in individual packets. That's a full set inside that packet, and every single letter is in a little plastic self-seal bag. That's how the Mint send them out, and that's how I send them out to you. Now, I shouldn't need to say this because you guys know that I like to play by a fair crack of the whip, right? I like to play by moral rules, what I consider to be moral rules. So don't keep bringing me up. Don't be emailing us and going, come and tell us what they are. Tell us what the letter is. Tell us what the letter is. I'm not going to do it. I just had a phone call with one of my a large investor, and I wouldn't tell him on the phone, and that could be at a risk of upsetting somebody. But as I said to him, I'll tell you next week. But I'm not telling you this week because, sorry, mate. Did you want to come back up? Yeah. I'm not telling anybody this week because I'm making it part of the competition. It wouldn't be right. It wouldn't be fair to let anybody know what that letter may be. So I will tell everybody in next week's video. I think that's fair. Have a crack at that. I'm running out of time already. Okay, I'm going to have to read off of here, otherwise I'm never going to get all this in. Frankenstein, Armistice, Cook, plus the 5 RAFs. I need my glasses. They're all in and they're being posted. If you've ordered an upgrade, it's on its way. If it's not on, it's been put on its way. It very soon will be. We're not up to date with them all, but they are all in and we are posting them out as fast as we can. A lot of you have already had them. You've seen the quality of these package coins. They are the proper bee's knees from the Royal Mint packaged, not these silly little blue whatevers. All right, now moving on. Kew Gardens, Puddle Duck, 2002 Commonwealth Games and the Olympics set. I can only hold my hands up and apologise. As a lot of you know, I've been really ill last year. So was John, diagnosed with lung cancer. I was diagnosed with cancer, which turned out not to be cancer, but for 6 months we thought I was. Pardon me. Still can't get rid of this. Anyway, the point being, the whole episode put us behind by at least a year. So we've wiped out the last year because we couldn't do the searching. We couldn't search. We couldn't get the 20 grams worth of 50p's a week or the 20 grams worth of £2 coins a week because we physically could not do it, you know. So so that's why all of that is behind. Now, I can't offer any more dual dates because I haven't got any more. I've got to get some in, and I've already got half a dozen people wanting to swap a Kew Gardens for a dual date. So I'm happy to still do that, but it's going to, if you want that, it's going to take a little while because I've got to get more in, and I can't just get them at the drop of a hat. But I'll tell you what I will do for those that want it. If you've ordered a Kew Gardens or an Olympic set, no, we'll just start with a Kew Gardens. So if you've ordered a Kew Gardens, I will swap that, if you want, for a Bunce 2018 A to Z set. I think that's a pretty good deal. So if you think, okay, sod it, I'll take my order off the Kew Gardens and give me a Bunce set, no problem at all. As usual, email Logan, tgbch@outlook.com. For an Olympic set, if you ordered an Olympic set off us in advance order and you still haven't got it yet, I'm not surprised, again, because of what's happened. I'll offer you 2 sets. I'll offer you an 18 and a 19 set of the A to Zs in place of that Olympic coin set, because I think you paid over 100 quid or just over 100 quid. And this is only for the people that would have paid 100 quid or more. I will swap it for 2 sets. If you paid less than, I don't know, if you paid less than 60 quid, then I'll, for an Olympic set, then I'll offer you 1 set of A to Zs. Okay, that covers that. Other than that, yes, you can have a refund on those, and you can also have a recredit. If you want a credit, you get an extra 20%. Brexit 50p, we don't have that yet, and we've got a funny feeling they ain't going to be released until we've actually left, because it would be a bit embarrassing to release the Brexit 50p and then suddenly the politicians doing all what they're doing, suddenly everything changes and we're not leaving the EU. And none of us know what's happening, for goodness sake. So we think that they're not going to release the Brexit until they know one way or the other what's happening with us leaving and all that. So I reckon they're on hold until we leave. Sherlock Holmes, we're still selling on advance order. I haven't stopped selling that one or the Brexit one, only because I don't know what's happening. I don't know if it's going to be released or not released, so we'll carry on selling it. If we find out it's not going to be released into recirculation, then we will offer upgrades, etc. But until then, no. Stephen Hawkins, I'm not even putting that one up yet this week. I want to wait a little bit longer on that one, so I will put it up, but let's just hang on, hold fire on that for a minute. Okay, no, I have gone and blooming run out of time. So I'm going to do another video, and that's going to be for the one that's going to explain the reward points and why I won't let anybody spend more than 25 quid or redeem more than 25 quid at a time. Really important. You might want to watch that, especially if you're into the reward points or whatever, or if you're an investor and you can't work out why. So I'm going to do that one next. That is another video I'm going to do. Other than that, it's all done. Let's have the voucher code this week. I'll give you £2 and you've got to spend £2 and a penny or more, and your voucher code is Brexit. That's BREXIT, all capital letters, and when you put in the T, don't do a space. BREXIT, stop. If you put a space in, it's an extra character. BREXIT, capital letters, stop. That's your voucher code. £2, and which essentially it will cover your postage. £2, and you spend £2 a penny or more. See you next week.